Welcome back to another Handyman Land video. Today we'll be unboxing and reviewing the portable Kero heat heater. Now, I've been for quite some time wanting to get a kerosene heater, and I finally got my hands on one. After doing some homework, I'm hearing this is one of the best ones that you could get on the market. And here's our heater. 23,500 BTUs per hour. The smart way to cut heating bills. I hope so. And here's how we've been heating up the workshop with the Lasco. Now don't get me wrong, this is an awesome unit, but when we're trying to run some of the power tools in the workshop, the breaker can't handle it and the power gets cut. Now I have to go back outside, back into the basement, and hit that breaker and turn on our power again. But there's really nothing I can do because we want to extend the workshop and we're still waiting on permanent zoning. So my paperwork's most likely just sitting on someone's desk and it's out of my hands for right now. So we need a better way to heat up the workshop because sometimes I can't feel my fingers and I'm getting tired of that and it's frustrating. And after doing some research, this unit here should be my problem solver. Here I can see that the package was a little mistreated, but hopefully everything's okay. Okay. Let's get everything out of the box here. Here's our manual. So it looks like it was very well packaged, so if you're purchasing this, it should survive the trip. Okay, here's our unit, and I also see some C batteries. Okay, that's all that's in the box. They do provide you a warranty card to fill out so you can register your unit. Also a pamphlet with safety tips. Here's our top plate. Now I was told that we could even cook on this. I don't know. I'll try it though. Here we have our bell handle, our top grill, a siphon pump, 3 wall guards, 2 C batteries, super heavy duty, but I've never heard of this brand. Here's our drip tray, 18-inch, and here's our burner. It's nice. And here's our front grill and our rear grill. You can tell the big difference from this notch out right here. The first thing we'll be installing is the drip tray. And if you look under our unit, we have 3 short legs here. See these tabs that stick out? I call them feet. Those slide underneath these tabs. Turn your unit clockwise and it will lock in place. Okay, let's grab our unit here. Put it in position and turn it clockwise. Nice. See that? And that's how it should look. Next, we're going to install our front grill. And remember, our front grill is with the opening, which should be facing right here when we lock it in place. And if you look at the center here, this one slides right in this little hole. Then the bottom one slides right in this little hole. And the same concept for the opposite side. The first side is a breeze. The opposite side, you have to apply a little bit of tension and you'll get it in place. And that's how it should look. And for the rear grill, follow the same steps. And the next step is to install the burner. But before installing the burner, I just want to show you where the wick is. As you can see here, here's the knob that you adjust the height of your wick. So when you turn it, to your highest setting, right there. And to manually shut it off. And I'm going to show you exactly what's happening on the inside when you're turning the knob. In the center there is our wick. See our wick slowly rising. That's the highest setting it goes. We open up our little door here. You can see the wick there as well. And then when I press our manual shut off, watch the wick jump back in place. But we'll talk more about that once we have it lit up. Now installing our burners, simple. You can keep this door open just so you can see better what you're doing. Just want to lower your burner in place. Just like so. Then here you can center it right there. Next is our top plate. Now if you look at these holes right here, this one and this one, you want to align it with that hole and the hole right across from it. Now this doesn't have a front and back, but it does have 4. You just have to align 2 of them only, because there are no holes in the front or back, only on the sides. Okay. Sure they're lined up. We're good. And you want to double check just to make sure that you do have it lined up, because the next step is our top grill. If the top plate is wrong, you might have to remove the top grill again to readjust it. Now to give you a closer view, how it connects is place your top grill in, up, across, then down, locks it in place. And you do that to all 3 sides. Next is our bell handle. If you look at our bell handle, the shape here aligns with the shape of our hole. Now we want to get it right in here. Stretch it out. So take the opposite side. It's going to be a little tricky. Just do one side at a time. The opposite side might be a little more difficult. It's doable. There you go. And there we have our bell handle. And what our bell handle does is hold our top plate in place, and you can carry and move your heater around. The next step will be our wall guards. And it's simple how we install this. At the bottom here, you'll see these triangular holes, one in front of the other. And then here, there's 2 more. And these just slide in place, like so. Same thing on this side. And what these are for is to keep it a safe distance from the wall. And here we have exactly 11.5. But for now, I'll just be removing this because I don't need it at the moment. Next step, we'll be installing our 2C batteries. Also on this channel, I've said before, me being the nerd that I am, anytime I run into a new battery that I've never heard of the brand before, I like to check the voltage of the battery. Okay, we have our voltmeter here. Now, a good battery should give us at least 1.5. But since these say they're super heavy duty batteries, we should be getting a reading around 1.6. So Get our negative and positive here. 1.65, 1.63. So these are good batteries. Now, there is something that I already dislike about this, and it's where you install the C batteries. For 150 bucks, I think their little design is somebody dropping the ball. I don't know how and why they approved it, because there are other units that are extremely similar to this, and how you install the C batteries is inside the metal housing. And in this case, it's different. I'll show you now. Let's turn it around. It's plastic. Look at that. Your wires are just dangling. You see the solder, where it's soldered at. If this area here had something like this, like a metal grill, I'd be more happy with it. But the way this is, come on now. You could have went better. You could have done better. Now, I understand lately everything's getting more expensive. And even for these manufacturer companies, things are getting expensive. But in this case, for a kerosene heater, I would prefer paying a little bit more than them cheaping out on that. But it is what it is. Let's just install our batteries here. And for those of you that don't know, the batteries are for, because this does have an automatic ignition system. And yes, you can still light this with a match if something were to go wrong with your ignition system. But it's just a safer, better way of lighting this up. And right now I don't have kerosene in here. I just want to show you how the ignition system works. Here's your auto start. You press in. And if you look up here, you will see your igniter lighting. Saw that? And that's how it lights your wick. And here's the kerosene that I purchased. 2.5 gallons. I made this purchase at Lowe's, but you can also order kerosene from Lowe's. I did not know that you can order kerosene through the mail, but apparently, yes, you can. Now, before I pour my kerosene in our unit, I also purchased some kerosene fuel treatment. And this one supposedly gives off the scent of pine. This small bottle can treat up to 80 gallons. For every 5 gallons, you add half an ounce. So that means we only need a quarter of an ounce for our 2.5 gallons. Now, my understanding is most people purchase the treatment because they don't like the smell of the kerosene, especially when you shut it down. That's why it says when you do shut it off, that you should be doing this outside because of the smell that'll fill the air. Now, they do also sell a few other scented treatments. It's not only pine. I know one of them's holly berry, but I'll leave the link in the description at the bottom for those. Now, some people say it doesn't work. It's not even worth it. And some people say they love it. It's completely worth it. The bottle's about $8. So there's only one way for me to find out, and that's for me to try it myself. But even if it doesn't work and it doesn't give off the scent of pine, I say it's still worth purchasing this because it cleans and extends the wick life. That alone is enough information for me to make the purchase. But most people make the purchase because they don't like the smell of the kerosene when you shut it off. And online I see some people, they were debating with the ones that say it's not worth it because, and they're saying no, it's because you're just not putting the proper amount. It is kind of hard to believe that only a quarter of an ounce of this inside of a 2.5 gallon will make a difference. But it's what the instructions say to do, so I'm gonna just follow the instructions. smaller one. So we want to do this right. Just so you know, I got some on my finger and I ignored it and it started to burn. So just keep in mind, if you get it on your skin, you might want to hurry up and wash your hands before it starts to burn, or just if you have some latex gloves, just put them on before you start. One thing I found strange, on the bottle it doesn't say how long you should wait once you treated your kerosene. So I guess I'ma just probably give it about 30 minutes before I pour it into my kerosene heater. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. Let's do the next step. And I will be using the siphon pump that they provided. So this part of the siphon pump goes inside our container, and this part here is what's going to feed our unit. Now, the way this is supposed to work, hopefully there's nothing wrong with it. It seems good. We're going to squeeze so we could create our suction, and then it will start to flow into our kerosene heater. And to stop the flow, we loosen our knob on the end here. All right, we're nice and full there. Just so you know, our kerosene tank here takes 1.9 gallons, which seems about right. It's a 2.5 gallon and it's right around this mark. So yeah, that's a nice tank. Also, my understanding is you can get anywhere from 8 to 11 hours of heating time off this tank. As for now, we just have to walk away for 1 hour and come back, because you want to make sure that your wick is completely soaked in kerosene. Because if you try to start it up right away, you're going to ruin your wick. Okay, it's been a little bit over an hour and our wick should be ready. Now let's open up this little door first, and we want to make sure that our burner is inside that groove. You want to wiggle it around, make sure that it's in that groove. Now let's turn our knob clockwise all the way. What this does is raise the wick all the way up. Go ahead, close this door. Push in our auto start. And it's on. Wow. It hasn't been a minute and it's already up to 253. This is getting hot really fast. So when we first started out, it was around 55.8. If you look at the top where it's at now, 322. So we want to give the flame about 5 to 7 minutes before we lower our wick. If you look on the side here, they do provide you some instructions. Too high, normal, too low. So your normal will be about 3/4 of an inch high. Now I can tell you this, I feel the heat. It's been about 7 minutes. As you can see, the flame is really high. So let's lower that flame. So that's my lowest setting. Let's put it in the middle. That seems a little too high. Let's lower that. I think that looks better. I wish the knob has some type of indication to let you know more or less where it's at. I guess I just have to play with it and then I get used to it. But right now I have it at the lowest setting, and that's my flame. Turn it about 1/4 of an inch. That flame looks better. So I believe that's about 3/4 of an inch, as it shows here for normal. So it takes a little getting used to messing with the knob, but eventually you'll figure it out. Now in the manual it says you could walk away for about 30 minutes and then come back and recheck on your flame, just in case you need to make any adjustments. It's been about 15 minutes. Let's check the temperature again. 540. They do say you can cook on this. I think you can. I won't be cooking on it today, but I'm ready. I purchased these 2 cast iron pans at a thrift store. I paid $3 a piece. Sometimes you get lucky at the thrift store. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. As you see, our flame has gone up. So let's lower that again. That's a bit better. Here's a little history. The kerosene heater back in 1884 was known as the lamp stove. And it was the common way in America to heat up your home, all the way up to the mid-1900s. But then less and less people stopped using kerosene heaters because it was more convenient just to use oil, gas, or electric. But it doesn't matter, the kerosene heater continues living on. It is an easier way to heat up a cold garage, workshop, cabin, or shed. Also, when shutting this off, they do recommend to take it outside and shut it off. And if you plan on heating your house all day long with one of these, you have to keep in mind that this does produce carbon. Wherever you're keeping a kerosene heater, you should have a carbon detector, a fire extinguisher, and a smoke alarm. Also, pets can get hurt with this. I know cats like to jump on top of things. If they jump on top of this kerosene heater, well, they're going to feel it. And if you're going to keep it in the house on when people are walking by, you should be using these wall guards. The nice thing about this is it is extremely quiet. It makes no noise at all. There is absolutely no noise coming from this. As for the treatment, I don't smell the pine. But I still recommend it because it does reduce, or supposed to be reducing, the kerosene odor. Reduces the condensation, extends your wick life, and increase heat efficiency. Also, the wall guards are to prevent anyone from pushing it closer to the wall, because you don't want this close to the wall. You don't want it near clothes. You don't want it up against your couch. You don't want it near your curtains as well. So there is a lot of responsibility to keep in consideration when owning one of these. I like it. I'm very happy with it. I wish I would have shown how cold it was in the shop when I started this. When we started, it was around 35 degrees. And if we look at my thermometer here, we're about 55 now. Where 55 is comfortable because I'm not wearing my gloves. If you see some of my videos, when it's the winter time, I'm wearing these gloves because these gloves also have the touchscreen option on the fingertips. I'm about to wrap this video up, but before I go, I'm going to turn this off. However, they do recommend to turn this off outdoors. But for filming purpose only, I'll be turning it off in the shop. This way you can see all the smoke and carbon that they talk about and the reason why they recommend to turn it off outdoors. Okay, look at the top. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if you were able to see all that smoke and carbon. And that's why I recommend to own a carbon detector. Another thing is keep in mind that when it's filled with kerosene, it's pretty heavy. And just how heavy is it? Let's find out. Okay, I can't really show you from there, but it's 35 pounds. So 35 pounds isn't too heavy for most of us, but perhaps you shouldn't let Granny do this by herself. Well, there you have it. That's my video for today. I hope this video helps someone out there. This is not a sponsored video. I purchased this with my own money, and I also purchased the other items you saw me that I was talking about of being safe: the fire extinguisher, the carbon monoxide detectors, and the smoke detector. I'll leave links in the description at the bottom of all those items. I am Amazon affiliated. If you make a purchase through the link I provide, I get a small kickback at absolutely no cost to you. And I will also do a follow-up video on how to maintain it, clean it, and store it away for the summertime when it's not needed. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, hit that bell icon, and I'll see you on the next one. You have yourself a good one.